We said, yeah. Well, we were had this enormous hit with "I'm Too Sexy." We played with bands which were like 15, 16 years old. But he said we could be their fathers, but they're your audience. Don't you think it's strange?
Yes, it is strange. I mean, when we play to do the road shows, the kids who are listening are are old enough to be our children, if you like. But then that's, in a way, that's the way rock and roll is inevitably going to go. The Stones will get up next year, after they've finished this album, they'll get up and they'll do a world tour, and they'll all be in their 50s, and they'll all be grandfathers.
Boring old farts?
No.
Why not?
Why? Because look, that sort of thing, it's a bit like, let's imagine that you were a critic of paintings in the 17 and 1800s. Would you be accusing Rembrandt or somebody of being, what a waste of time, this self-portrait Rembrandt is rubbish. I mean, you're too old now, you're in your 70s, give it up. It's a rubbish thing to say, it doesn't make any sense at all. Rock and roll is no longer the preserve of the juvenile. It's just about making music, and the Stones will be able to go out next year, whenever it is, and they'll be able to fill every massive auditorium, pretty much, that any country can supply, and the audience will be full of people from 50 down to 15. And that's where music's going. It's not a teenage thing any longer.
I mean, all we needed to do is to listen to someone like Frank Zappa, obviously some of the last stuff he did, which I find far too weird. But the guy was in his mid-50s, and he was producing some very bizarre music, and clearly thinking...
Leonard Cohen.
The last Leonard Cohen album, where a lot of people obviously won't be fans. But there's someone there who's thinking about what he's trying to do. He just wants to deliver something from him to the audience, and I just think it's interesting when you get people like that. And Kate Bush, who we were just talking about, is another one. And I find some of, although I'm not a big fan of Suede, for example, but Suede, they are attempting to do something slightly different to a lot of four-piece rock bands.
And interesting when you say use the expression boring old farts. I know some people in their 20s who are producing hits in England who are boring old farts.
Like,
I'm not going to say. They know who they are.
I mean, they know. But I mean, you're from Great Britain, England, and people in Holland, they don't know these names.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. Oh, yes, they do. We have artists at home who are...
I don't want to sit here and say, oh, they're crap or whatever, because that's just negative, and if they believe what they do, then fine. I just think if you're 19 years old and you've got the chance of making records, you should be doing something more than singing about a girl, particularly if you're a gay guy. That's my opinion. I think it's just major confusion from beginning to end. You've got young boys singing, young boys who
Young boys should be singing about me.
Yeah, I mean...
It's quite obvious.
Do they?
Yes, no.
Pity.
You've got these young guys singing to girls. The guys are gay. The girls think they're straight, and they're singing about girls who they're not attracted to anyway because they're homosexual. It's a complete major confusion and lack of communication. And it would be much easier if people just got on and did what they, at heart, felt like they wanted to do. And sometimes you'll have success, and sometimes you won't. But the thing is, with the record company, the media, your management, banging into your head all the time, you've got to have a single, you've got to do this. In all fairness to the people that we work with, we don't get hit over the head with that. They are quite a bit more patient. But a lot of record companies aren't, a lot of management aren't.
Is that a reason of your success, just because you do what you think is good?
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I think there are a lot of bands, if they'd sat down with I'm Too Sexy, Deeply Dippy, what else was the other? Bumped, and not so much Don't Talk Just Kiss, 'cause that's more of a traditional pop song. But there are some songs we've done that have a different feel to them, and they wouldn't have done them. They would have shied away from making Sexy as ridiculous it was. They would have shied away from Deeply Dippy not being a dance record. And I think you've got to be true to the song and true to yourself.